Well, typically a window comes up that asks you what kind of project you want to do. I don't see that, so I'll just go new.
My computer's been acting a little funny lately.
This is Logic. I've got Logic 9. I'm sure it's going to basically be the same, but it does look different. Okay.
We could.
So it's asking for just the initial
Yeah.
input, so you know that part, and then you get your track there.
Yeah.
So
I usually, just scoot that off. There you go. I usually do, yeah.
Oh, shit, it's a little different.
Okay.
Can't be that different. Okay, so it's basically the same. The symbols are just different, so it may take me a tiny bit longer to find stuff, but I'm sure it's basically the same. So if you want to add a track, there's your plus button to add tracks. It'll, of course, ask you what kind you want.
Okay.
And, depending on your interface, you can tell it the input and output.
Let's go ahead
obviously.
Set up a template. So we want to do input 1 and 2. I click that, see if it shows the Apogee. Okay, so yeah, just 1 or 2. It might already be hooked up for Apogee.
Okay, so we got 2 tracks. And, if you do command, comma, that's preferences. Or you can go to file preferences, but command, comma is always preferences. And we can go to your audio. Just make sure you do it, so you're good to go.
What buffer size do you tend to do? I got a 256.
What I typically do is try to go as low as I can, so I'll select my buffer size. Once I have a recording and I have a bunch of tracks, if you've never done it before and you don't know what your computer can handle, you can wait until you've got several tracks and a few things going on, in other words, and then you play around with different buffer sizes. And if it can handle it, then you...
So the lower, the less, what's it called? Latency. And then the higher...
Right.
But the more chances of it distorting, and then the higher, the more latency.
Well, the higher the number,
right,
the less latency you have.
No, because if you go to, Audition started off at 128, and I was advised to keep it around 512.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But Apogee says to do it at 64, and I'm like, I don't need to do it at 64. I can get by with 256.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It's basically a resolution of
Okay.
samples, and I don't know what the algorithm is or whatever, but it's basically like if you would, the analogy to the visual film world, that would be your pixel rate or something.
Right.
Obviously, but I think you already know about that.
All right.
So,
what about beats per minute? I guess I'm jumping ahead, aren't I?
well, let's say you want to record something, so you've already got the riff in your mind. You can play this riff on guitar. So, you want it to all link up to the grid. So the more perfectly you play, the less you're going to have to quantize and shit, obviously. So, you would just change that according to what you've written in your head.
All right, so if we're going to write some, what do you think? Let's pick a... Do you like 120?
120 is good, actually. I think there's a reason that's always the default, because it's
twice,
very universal.
Because it's 2 beats a second. All right, cool.
So,
I've been liking 132.
I write all kinds of shit. If I'm going to write something from scratch, I'll just go whoop and type in whatever. You know? I mean, it's usually always between 80 and 150. It's never outside that range too much. But yeah, you'd want to play as perfectly as you can, so you don't have to screw with it, because the more perfect it is, the better.
Quantizing can sound funny. I did quantize one thing, and somehow it pitch corrected it, and then it was an interesting effect when I had the normal drums and the quantized pitch correct drums together. So I copied and pasted it, and it was pretty bizarre. It was like kind of
glitchy.
It was glitchy and circusy, and not in a good way.
Okay, well,